With gas prices at $4 a gallon or roundabout, House Democrats have requested Governor Morrisey call a special session to temporarily suspend the state gas tax. Now, in a twist, that idea has also been floated by Republicans in the House Freedom Caucus. Georgia and Utah have taken similar measures to suspend or reduce their gas tax. Several other states, including Virginia and Pennsylvania, are also considering gas tax relief. John Williams is a Democrat in the House of Delegates from Monongalia County. He joins us in studio this morning. Good morning, John.
Good morning, Dave. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Appreciate you coming by. All right, everybody would like some relief at the pumps, but what is the plan Democrats are floating out there to give some relief at the pumps?
Yeah, so the plan is looking at the average price before the excursion, war, whatever they're calling it today in Iran, before that happened on February 1st. And so we're taking that average cost, which was floating between $2.85 and $3. And as long as gas is over that average, then there will be a gas tax holiday. And this is to be monitored from month to month so that it wouldn't be just a complete elimination of the gas tax, but it would be to provide some relief for people who need it at the pump right now.
So, John, we wouldn't repeal the entire state gas tax. We would do that in some kind of pro rata form based on where the average price is. Did I understand that correctly? Yeah,
that's exactly right. So people have been suffering for the past year. People have been crying out about the cost of living in this country and in this state. And those cost of living issues that they had were largely surrounding utility costs. They were surrounding healthcare costs, childcare costs. And then out of nowhere, we have this war that we go into half-cocked without realizing that you got to consider the Strait of Hormuz in this process. And all of a sudden, the same people who've been worried about utility rates, healthcare rates, food costs, childcare costs, now they have gas on top of that that's exploded in price. And so that's what we're trying to do, is to try to do something for cost of living for West Virginians.
So in the Democrats' plan, would there be automatic triggers in this, or there would be somebody who would decide if the tax is suspended or if it increases? How would this work?
Yeah, so the trigger is in there automatically based on that $2.85 to $3 average that we were seeing in January before the war started. So anytime the price of gas is above that $3, then the 35 cents per gallon is completely eliminated. And so what we're trying to do is we're trying to put money back in the pocket of the people who need it most. We talked on this show when you guys were down in Charleston about the state income tax cut, a tax cut that put a lot of money disproportionately in the wealthier of West Virginians' pockets. With this issue, you got one guy who makes $50,000 a year, drives 30 miles to work. Another guy that makes $500,000 a year, drives 30 miles to work. This money being put back in the pocket of the $50,000 worker is going to make a heck of a lot of difference, and it's something that we need to do.
John, ballpark it for me. How much money are we talking here that would be saved? Do we have any estimates?
You mean saved by the consumer at the pump, TJ?
Yeah, like added, like what is the state going to forego? I'm trying to get my head around the number.
What's the state going to forego? So if it was in effect through the rest of the year, it would be $40 million. And I think that cost is an extremely important point that I'm glad you brought up, TJ, because to demonstrate to you and to your listeners how passionate I am about doing this, roads and infrastructure has been something that I've talked about since I got into politics, the importance of it, the importance of investing in it. If we do this, we are going to be missing out on money to roads and infrastructure. But I think when you look at where people are hurting the most, we need to be doing everything that we can to put money back in people's pocket. And so I think for now, until we have stable, reliable gas prices, it's worth doing.
Talking to John Williams, Monongalia County Delegate, the House Democrats proposing and asking for the governor to call a special session to temporarily suspend the state gas tax. John, I have been told by members of your party, when it comes to tax cuts, the amount going back to the taxpayer, it's not that much. And we're only talking about a few dollars here. It's not that significant. I have a 22-gallon tank, few cents at the pump, 35 cents at the pump. We're talking maybe $30 or $35 a month that would come back to me.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a lot, John. That's not that significant, I'm told.
It is significant, Dave, when you compare it to the conversations we've had in the past of the income tax cuts, which are putting $80 to $100 a year back in someone's pocket versus your example, $30 a month. That dwarfs that $80. That's 3 times the savings. And again, I would stress the example of that $30 a month means a different amount to you than it does somebody making $1 million. Don't want to make any assumptions.
You've not seen my contract, John. Come on.
This is the type of tax where we can make an actual meaningful difference, guiding it towards middle-class budgets, middle-class households.
John, I understand the intent. Who wouldn't want to pay less at the pump right now? I think that's practical across the board. I think that part of it makes sense. Here's where I have to be sold a little bit more to get on board. 2 points. Number one, we're coming up on summer months. People travel a lot. There is a heck of a lot of interstate traffic that goes through this state that isn't ending here, right? People go from point A to point B. They come through here. They fill up their tank. That helps us in a time, part of that $40 million, when we don't have a lot of money for roads. I mean, this year alone, I've put 2 tires on. And as much as I want to save at the pump, it's not going to make up for the price of the tire from the pothole. That's my concern.
And I think, TJ, I do think that it's a valid concern. And I don't want to go as far as to say that we have adopted a if you can't beat them, join them type of mentality. That's
Sure.
not it at all. But after we sit there and watch hundreds of millions of dollars go to corporations to try to sweeten the deal to bring some jobs to West Virginia, which is important, but then we see money going back in the pockets largely of the most wealthy of West Virginians. After we see all that stuff being done time and time and time again, and then we get told, well, we can't afford this foster care program, Vito. We can't afford to do this gas tax cut that's going to help lower and middle class people. Sorry, we can't do it because of all the other stuff we've done the past few sessions. So your point is well taken, but when is the middle class going to get a meaningful tax cut?
Delegate John Williams joining us in studio this morning. Any reaction from the governor to the plan? Any reactions from the news conference yesterday?
I saw that he said that they would look at any plan that comes around. I know the Freedom Caucus, they released something about this as well.
Late last week, yeah.
Yeah. I think that this is an opportunity for bipartisanship. You don't always see Democrats in the Freedom Caucus hooking up all that much on policy.
Not very often, John.
But when it comes to putting money back in people's pockets, that's worth teaming up on. And I think it's incumbent upon the Republican leadership to take this cost of living message seriously and to do something about it for people.
Remind me of the hurdles, John. If the governor doesn't call a special session, I think you all can put yourself back in, but I can't recall the parameters that need to be met to do that.
Yeah, we can do that, and it's never been done in my tenure, TJ. It's either 2/3 or a supermajority of each chamber, and the thing that always kind of stops that process is that if we were to call ourselves in, we would have a completely open agenda versus when the governor calls us in and there's a prescribed agenda that we are supposed to not deviate from.
Is this, and we're talking to John Williams, Monongalia County Delegate, one of the Democrats in the House, is this a sincere proposal? Because let's face it, I don't see the governor calling a special session to entertain a Democrat plan. I just don't see it happening, John. Is this a sincere proposal, or is this just showmanship and performative politics?
Well, I would say, Dave, instead of asking us if this is a sincere proposal, because of course the governor's not going to take up a Democratic plan, I would ask the governor why he wouldn't take up a Democratic plan. Both questions work both ways. So is this sincere? Of course it is. But I think that the fact that we ask such questions show the polarization and the fact that it seems like in West Virginia, it's only a good idea if it's got a Republican's name next to it. And at that, a certain Republican's name next to it. So I would tell you it is sincere. We have talked about cost of living issues ever since our kitchen table tour. We're the only ones that went out and listened to people, and this was one of the biggest things. And like I said, they were talking about utility rates, food, healthcare, this wasn't a problem. Now it is a problem. Let's do this at least.
Give me a head count. I mean, beyond the Dems in the House or the Senate, are you guys whipping votes with Republican colleagues? Do you have any commitments? Do you have any idea how much support you have?
I mean, we've talked to people offline who say they're supportive, but obviously couldn't sign a petition, and we haven't even floated the petition idea. We'd like to give the governor some time to think about this. I think, it was, I guess it was 2 nights ago, we heard that the war is over, so maybe prices are coming down, but listening to this program and other news outlets, we don't know if that's the case anymore. So we keep getting whipsawed back and forth, so let's give the governor time to see if he thinks that oil prices will come down or not.
Monongalia County Delegate, Democrat John Williams. You can read more details on that proposal over at the website. Brad McElhenney, I think Brad's got a story. Somebody's got a story. I know it's at the website, wvmetronews.com.